That's what we hoped would happen at today's White House meeting. Unfortunately, the president had other ideas. With his tweet this morning, President Trump made sure that today's meeting is nothing but a photo op. These issues are far too serious for these kinds of games. Mr. President, it's time to stop tweeting and start leading. There are serious questions that must be answered and many things that must be done. Democrats and Republicans on the Hill have come together on government funding before. In April, Speaker Ryan, Leader McConnell, Leader Pelosi, and I worked together to fund the government and avoid a shutdown. The four of us have worked together before, and we Democrats are ready to do it again. So if President Trump doesn't want to get involved in this, if President Trump says he's not interested in cutting, then we suggest that Speaker Ryan, Leader McConnell, Leader Pelosi, and I sit down. We can come up with a good deal on our own. And that's what was done before. That's what can be done again. As I said, there are serious issues in front of us. We don't have time to waste. We don't have games to play. We need to fund the military. We need to protect millions of American pensions, fund scientific research and student loans. We need to rebuild in Texas, Florida, Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and California, and we need to protect the dreamers. If the president reverses course and decides he wants to be a constructive force, working with both sides to forge a bipartisan deal, we're happy to meet with him anytime, anywhere, any place. But as long as he remains a destructive force, it would be a waste of everyone's time to continue working with someone who clearly has no interest in coming to an agreement. We hope the president, in order to avoid this calamity, will change his mind. The president and our Republican friends run the House and Senate. They have a responsibility not to let the government run out of funds. We're willing to work with them, but they have to do it in a bipartisan way. Senator Durbin.
Thanks, Chuck. The tweet that the president released this morning concerned me in one particular respect. There is only one immigration bill that is pending before this Congress that is being taken seriously. Senator Cornyn, the Republican whip, just addressed it. It's one that we all know very well. It's the president's decision on September the 5th to eliminate DACA protection. 780,000 young people who came forward, paid the filing fee, went through a criminal background check, submitted all their information to our government, are currently protected from deportation and given a right to work. President Trump announced on September 5th that as of March 5th next year, that protection would end. And with the end of that protection, it means disastrous consequences for thousands and thousands of these young people. He called on Congress to act, and as Senator Cornyn said, it's our responsibility to act. How did the president describe this challenge this morning in his tweet? He said the Democrats were coming in favor of illegal immigrants flooding into our country unchecked. Illegal immigrants flooding into our country unchecked. The DREAM Act requires that if you're eligible, you have to have been in the United States for 4 years. We're not talking about people flooding into the United States. We're talking about those who've lived their lives in the United States being given a chance to earn their way to legal status and citizenship. That's what the challenge is before us. We need a president who will work with us to solve the problem which he created on September 5th when he abolished DACA. We need a president who has said so many times that he's respectful of the talents these young people bring to America. We need a president who doesn't use this divisive rhetoric. We can sit down and do this on a bipartisan basis. I'm convinced of it. Senator Graham is co-sponsoring the DREAM Act with me. There are 3 other Republican sponsors. It can be done. But we have to stop the divisive rhetoric, stop the tweeting, and instead sit down and meet our responsibility before the end of this year. It can be done.